Okay, folks, this will be an interesting one. It's an interesting person who's a motivational speaker, and this is some of his material. I don't need to be told how to do things, folks. I do things on my own, in my own special way. I don't need help and I don't need structure. I'm not good at understanding. I'm not good at being taught because I have problems with my memory. I have memory problems, and these memory problems make it very difficult to absorb information and retain it. So you can imagine not much gets into my long-term memory. It doesn't go past my short-term memory or my hippocampus, which is what takes short-term memories and converts them into long-term memories. I had a cord around my neck, came out breech, and basically I ended up, how should I put it, with brain damage, and basically I can't remember things very well, and it's gotten worse over time. And this is it. This is what we're photocopying here. It's Anthony Robbins with Dr. Warren Farrell. So this is Anthony Robbins. So he's a really well-known and respected motivational speaker. We all know who Tony Robbins is. I think we mostly do. But I don't have a use for his kind of style or his kind of activities. I do, as I said, I do things my own way. I don't have any kind of use for this kind of material except to use it here. But I'm trying my best to think positive and to just work on my dreams. My primary dream, apart from getting married to Luigi, my partner that I lost along the way, is to redesign the photocopier from scratch. So the hardware is going to get a huge rethink, and it's going to basically last 60 years instead of 5 years. And it's going to be made out of mostly recycled materials as much as you can. And it's going to, and basically, yeah, it's going to be, there's going to be less plastic. The plastic is going to, oh shit, I stretched it. I've got to, I'm going to be using very little plastic. The plastic is going to be kept to a minimum. So it's going to be used mainly in plugs and sockets and wiring and shit, not basically to be used for panels or moving parts or anywhere where plastics don't need to go. I don't like plastic, folks. I hate it. I really hate plastic. I really do, folks. I hate it. It's a material I absolutely fucking abhor, and it's dirty, it's filthy, it doesn't last, it's horrible, and it looks shithouse. So basically, even the external panels are going to get a rethink. They're going to be made out of materials like aluminium or anodized aluminium with colours like red, green, blue and yellow, and other colours like black and plain silver aluminium, anything like that. Something that's a lot more exciting and more environmentally friendly than plastics. And basically, yeah, plastics are only to be reserved where they have to go. So even the internal workings, like the cogs and, or should I say, the gears and all that, the gear train. They call it gear train. I think is where you got all the chains and all that shit. No, I don't know. I'm not at that level yet, folks. I'm not yet. Having this disability means I can't learn at this stage. I'm hoping they'll have technology to fix the broken parts of the brain so I can eventually have get more knowledgeable about how these things work. And I'm going to try and think positive, folks, that they will have the technology, and with this technology I'll be able to achieve the dreams that I'm talking about now and beyond. And basically also we've got to think the software of these equipments has got to be different. We've got to make the software use artificial intelligence to help streamline its functioning, and we mainly keep for the factory build, where you get this out of the factory, is just going to have enlargements and reductions and exposure control and double-sided copying and shit. And the artificial intelligence will also be in there too to help with those features. It'll be like you can speak to the machine and the machine will respond. And basically it'll take vocal commands, and yeah, it'll be really futuristic, truly futuristic. Can I make that a bit bigger? And basically, yeah, we're going to make these apps, we're going to make fancy features available as downloadable apps, just like iTunes, Apple iTunes, and Google Play. We can make these machines truly customizable. And speaking of customizable, getting back to the hardware, the actual chassis of the hardware is going to be made out of titanium. And I did mention the panels. Did I just mention? Sorry about my memory, folks. But I think I did mention the panels being made out of anodized aluminium in different colours. I think I did say that, folks. But there are other types of finishes you can get as well as the conventional anodized aluminium. How about titanium, stainless steel? And there's even a novel material that's only just been fairly recently discovered and utilised, and that is what's called transparent aluminium, which is really what's known as a ceramic, and it's basically what they call ALON, which stands for aluminium, oxygen and nitrogen. And basically, yeah, we're going to use that as our master copy. And basically, yeah, it's like a really exciting new material that could be potentially used to make see-through panels for your photocopier. Imagine that, folks. How exciting that would be to have a photocopier with see-through external panels. Really exciting, folks. And I'm really looking forward to this. So I'm going to think positive, folks, and try my hardest not to let my life get me down. Even though I do have a lot standing against me, I'm trying to get on the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9, and it's proven really difficult, and I'm trying to maintain a sense of positivity dealing with the likes of Channel 9 and trying to get them to play this material that I'm presenting here, and it's really proven to be extremely difficult, and I'm just trying not to give up. It's hard work, folks. It really is, trying to maintain this enthusiasm and trying to keep this going as hard as I can, as fast as I can. So, yeah. And I want this machine, the hardware, to be designed out of, I might have already said it, my memory is bad, folks. So just take into account that I have a really bad memory, and just understand that I'm going to repeat myself when I'm trying to, and also I'm not that good at multitasking, so just bear with me, folks. If I do repeat myself in this presentation, I'm sorry. I really am. I really struggle to remember sometimes. It's really difficult. But I'm going to try and keep an upbeat attitude as much as I can, even though I do have a high propensity of rage at my disability as well as at the TV channel. A lot of my videos show me going off the deep end, which shows I'm really get frustrated, and being disabled can cause a great deal of frustration in my what I'm doing. I do get frustrated so badly sometimes, and it really does get to me. But I'm going to try my best. As a person with a disability can only do that, to do their best. I'm going to use that again. So a person with a disability has got to try their best, try to do their best. Of course, I do believe I have also high-functioning autism, as well as the brain damage at birth. So I have this passion for photocopiers, and I consider the high-functioning autism as an asset rather than a liability now that I'm not at school being teased and bullied. Both the brain damage and the high-functioning autism, incidentally, folks, to let you know, have not been actually diagnosed. They've been suspected, but they're not diagnosed. They're undiagnosed. So it's a real problem. And it was a problem at school dealing with the brain damage, because that could have been diagnosed when I was at school, and they could have been a little less hard on me for not enjoying the school curriculum, learning, and I kept getting into trouble at school for not applying myself in the classroom or in the homework. So it was really a real tough life I had, and being teased and bullied as well on top of that. I wasn't allowed to be myself without feeling a sense of fear that I was going to get into trouble. Like, I used to hate getting school reports, and I used to hate what was known as parent-teacher nights, where parents could come and see the teachers and talk face-to-face with the teachers about how their son or daughter is going in the classroom, and it really terrified the shit out of me, because I knew that they were going to say, oh, she's probably she's a little bit obsessed with photocopiers. Really if she stopped talking about or thinking about photocopiers, well, maybe she could do better. And that would have really been a problem, because as it was, my dad and my brother hated my photocopier art. And I think my dad put my brother up to it, but my brother, when I came home late one night, I knew I was in trouble, and I knew I was on the photocopier at the library, at Chatswood Library one night, and I was up too late doing it, and I knew I was going to get into trouble, and they didn't want me home late, but then I got home and there was a huge row, and they were asking me why. I forgot what they were saying, but they were angry at me for being late. And then I went into my bedroom, and I knew my brother was going to go through my backpack and look for the photocopied materials that I had. And I went to the toilet, and he went to my bedroom, the stupid twat. He took out my bag, and he looked through it and showed Mum and Dad all my photocopied materials, and Dad was not impressed, and my mum was worried I was x-raying myself because I liked photocopying my hand and my face. And she was worried I was x-raying my hand, and my dad and my brother, I was banned from photocopying, folks, for indefinitely by my whole family. So you can imagine a school having a parent-teacher night would have been an absolute devastation for me, and they would have probably banned me altogether from not just the photocopier itself, but they could have probably banned me from going out, period. Imagine that, being stuck at home, not being allowed to catch public transport to go to Chatswood from the suburb of Forestville, if you know Sydney, folks, North Shore. But basically, it was a horrible night, and I remember the day. It was Wednesday, the 16th of September, 1987. That's stuck in my long-term memory, and that was really a horrible time, and I was really upset. And it was horrible, and that wasn't a parent-teacher night thing. That was me coming home late from a very passionate photocopier session, and I was in big shit. So, yeah. Enough about that, but that's come up looking quite a treat. I think we can now call this demo quits.